What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Epic Tiki podcast. I'm Luke Sloy, and this is Chazz Hawkins. I'm doing another intro.
Eventually we'll get one. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird because it's like, yeah, we will talk about stuff all the time, but then now with
Here, get a little closer. Just in case.
Yeah.
All right. It's stage mic.
All right.
But how are you?
I'm good, man. We did the special months ago now. And
Yeah, that's right. So yeah. Oh shit. Oh my God, so disrespectful. I'm so sorry.
I was just gonna talk about like the good cinematographer, but
Yeah, no. No, yeah, so Chazz has a special on YouTube that you should go watch. Just don't watch his podcast. Watch his special. The first one's on the house. This one's on the house?
The first one's on the house.
Okay, I got it right.
Yeah.
The first one I got right.
The first one's on the house.
Yeah. But yeah, and it was really cool. I think it was impressive. Well, yeah, so me and our friend Vin Chandra, who's been on the podcast, we filmed it for Chazz, and the three of us produced it, I guess. I don't know. We were like, how do we do the credits?
Yeah, I mean, it's like everybody got a piece of the credits, but it was like all a collaborative.
Everybody directed a little. Everybody, like me and Vin, we all edited kind of, or you and I edited. Vin didn't really do that, but then the coloring, like he helped, and I did it, and then you approved it, and then the curtains, you produced it. You bought curtains to put up and how you wanted it to look.
Steamed them, and it was everybody added something to it.
Yeah.
So it's because even like with the cameras, we had all the cameras set up, but then you guys kind of had like free will to shoot however you wanted to.
Yeah.
Because we had some cameras stationary, so
yeah, totally.
It totally worked out when I watching the videos and like going through the process of editing to find like, oh, this time like Vin kind of went off into the crowd, and now it's like, but I want to use that shot. I wouldn't have had that shot if it was just like, the camera's just set up and
right. Yeah. So yeah, I wonder if ideally, well, I mean, I saw like a real crew do a special taping, and they have like 10 guys all on camera.
Yeah.
Every camera has a person monitoring it, whereas we were kind of like, oh yeah, there's 3 cameras that are just whatever is happening over there. Hopefully they're fine. So, because it was just me and Vin filming it.
Yeah.
But I think it's impressive because you did it with one show. You didn't even do a second show. You just filmed a one-nighter, one show, and it came out great.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's like from watching that set, I mean, I've seen it so many times, but it kind of had to be, it's hard to recreate that show, or when you do multiple shows to try to edit it into one show that seems like it's the same show.
Yeah.
Because the vibe of it would be so different. Like there were so many people like in the crowd that like I've known my whole life, know, and I kind of used them on parts of it. So
when it's like if you don't have that following where you can be like, I'm going to record in Denver, and it's just Denver people show up. You're like, I have friends in Sacramento, and they will come to one show.
Yeah.
Which is more than I would have if I tried to do something like this.
And then it's like, I mean, you just like, you go off of like what you can do. So it's like, I had jokes that had like some people in it that were around, but it's like, to me, it's like, that's what kind of made it this like more of a special, because it's like, I could only do that. Like, it's different just doing the joke anywhere, in Kansas City versus like doing it in front of the person and then being like, that person is here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not lying about this shit, So it's like, that was cool, funny to see like the response of the people that are in it,
Yeah, because you can see them on stage, right? Could you see them?
Yeah. And there's sometimes there's like there was one joke where like I knew where my friend was sitting, and I knew the guys that he was with, and one of the joke is like one of the guys is part of it, but they moved them like from when the show first started to when I was up on stage. So I thought he was sitting over here, and then when I look, I go, like they moved the guy. And so then it's like I'm doing the joke, and I see the guy because I'm not looking where I think he's gonna be.
Oh, you're trying to look away so I don't make eye contact, and you did anyway.
And then I look, and it's like he's right there. It was like, this one, he's right there. So
it's like when you're trying to avoid somebody. You're like, they always use that same grocery store. I'm not gonna go there. And then the one time you go to the other store, that's where they are. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it was a good night. And I love the way everything turned out, and just like with the editing stuff, it. Like, because initially it's like I was thinking, oh, I'm just going to try to do everything by myself. but it would have not turned out like how it did. You know, you got to work with people that know what they're doing. So
I know what I'm doing. No, yeah. I mean, editing's just. I mean, besides just knowing what you're doing, you also need a computer that can like handle all this footage at once. You know.
Yeah.
But then also, yeah, just like keeping track of it and being organized. Because, we had 6 different camera views.
Yeah.
We had a main shot that was like zoomed in. That's probably most of it. And then there's like a zoomed out one that's like the whole stage. And then we had like a side camera that was really nice that was fixed. And then we had one on the side that was kind of moving or different all the time. Yeah. And then we had this shot on the other side, which was the whole audience. And I think we had your camera kind of on the back doing something too.
Yeah, like my camera ended up getting like the walk up part.
Yeah.
But it was weird because like the shot that I thought, you know, when we first started editing, the one that I thought was going to be the main one.
Yeah.
It ended up not, we used it definitely, but it wasn't the main one. I think the main one was the one that you shot. I like the closeness of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I didn't really think about that for a while, but I think people, like when you do a clip online too, like people like torso up. They want it closer. Yeah. If it's like further away, I guess it's not as engaging.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, if somebody's like filming a little video, selfie, something, they're like right here. So you see like their whole face as they're filming it. So yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And then it's like you could be anywhere. Like, I mean, I shot it at the Punchline in Sacramento, but I wanted to make the room to where
it wasn't clear it was that close. Yeah.
Like I wanted to show love to the room because that's where I've done, like, I feel like the most of my stand-up work.
Oh, is that San Francisco?
San Francisco,
okay.
But
same thing.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's where I worked out the most material at the Sacramento Punchline. Them and San Francisco, but Sacramento's my home, so I wanted to showcase the room, but at the same time, it's like I kind of wanted it to not look like if somebody else shoots there. I wanted it to be its own thing, and it can kind of be anywhere, you know.
I know there's only a few clubs I feel like that get shot in, that people shoot in, that they don't make it look that much different. And I feel like Denver Comedy Works is the one I've seen multiple specials where they didn't really dress the room. They just were like, this is cool, and just use it.
Yeah.
Because like Kelsey Cook, I think, has a special there. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought she did one there.
She might. I don't know.
Rogan did Rocky Mountain High like years ago, like 10, 12 years ago. He did one there.
Oh, wow, okay.
And that one looks like it. I don't think they changed that much. And then Nick Mullen, the Cumtown guy, he did one there.
His was there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The Year of the Dragon or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. That's funny though, that special, like, I laughed a lot watching it, and then I tried to show it to my parents, and they were like, like, I think he's too online or something about him. And I was watching it, and I was like, yeah, isn't that funny? Like, it was less funny because I was showing it to them, and they weren't digging it. I don't know.
That's always hard with comedy. Is like you watch something that's funny, but then it's hard to watch it in front of somebody and being like, this is funny, right? Like, yeah, because you don't know exactly what the funny parts are. It's like as a whole, it's funny, or
like what makes it funny to you might not be funny to anyone else. It's like sometimes you laugh at something because of just the mannerism of it or the timing or something. But then I showed them Shane Gillis and they loved it. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's. I mean, it's a good one. I don't know which one you showed them, but
the original, like the YouTube one.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, that's like really I could rewatch it right now and still laugh at it. He just has like such a, I don't know, he unlocks some kind of like personality thing where you just like him. Just gonna.
Yeah, he definitely does that a lot.
I try not to, but when I go on stage, I sort of do it, and I'm like, don't copy Shane Gillis's hand move. But I don't know how else to hold. Like, I don't want to be like, doing this, or I can't do this, but maybe I should just. I don't know. Power move, power hold.
It's like I'll see stuff, and then I start wanting to try it.
Yeah.
So like the hand behind the back, I think Bargatze does that a lot. So then it's like I see that.
Oh, he does do that.
Like, I wanted to, to like test it out, and I do it, and it's like, all right, I can't.
We call that the Admiral.
Yeah.
Men, today we sail.
Or like sometimes you're doing a joke, and it's like when you tell the punchline, you lean forward. That's like a thing.
Oh yeah.
It's like,
and that's when I said, "Get out of town."
then it becomes funny to me to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But it's only like, that's like inside my head. The audience has no idea, but it's funny to me to do that because it's stupid.
Yeah.
You know, but
well, do you become a fan of something and you just want to do that thing because you like it?
Yeah.
That's what, yeah, I've been watching this YouTube channel called Red Letter Media. I'm obsessed with it. Like, it's a big channel, whatever, but they do this thing where they watch bad movies and then they talk about it afterwards, and I want to do that, so I'm going to do that.
Oh, okay.
That's what me and Vin are doing after this.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what? Mystery Science Theater did it, and some other people, so like,
I used to watch that.
We'll try to have like a different format a little bit, but I just think it's funny. It's just fun to watch a bad movie and make fun of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So like when you do it, is it you're doing the review after you watch the movie, or you're doing it as you're watching the movie?
We're going to film both, I think. I want to try to make sure, because the way, that's how Red Letter Media does it, and I think if you get the initial reaction, like if something funny happens and you say something or you react to it right there, that's great. If you try to recreate it later, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about their videos, is they'll show something wacky in the movie and then just them laughing at it is, you want to capture that. I don't know.
Okay. I had an idea. This is like many like years ago, but it was I was going to record myself doing commentary to like watching Dolomite movies.
Okay.
Because they're just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then it's like, why would somebody listen to me talk about this? Like, it's like,
but they would, because YouTube has shown that
now,
if you're good at it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is before YouTube.
Like before all. I mean, not before YouTube, but it's like before there was so many of those. Because I just was like, I don't know. I was watching them one night, and it just like, this is insane. You know, and this is like before, like, Eddie Murphy made the Dolomite movie, but it's just like the original Dolomite movies, and he's got like Rudy Ray Moore has so many movies and they're all like they're all crazy. He knows karate in all of them. It doesn't matter what. There's he's training classes.
I feel like they did one of these movies on Red Letter Media that I saw recently.
Yeah, they could all be on there.
Well, when Vin and I try it, and if it works and we like it, then we'll have you on, because I think it'd be cool to do it more like that, because they have 4 people usually.
Yeah,
they'll have like a panel of 4 guys, and they'll just watch, and then even when they're watching it, they'll have 5 or 6, but then there's only 4 that actually sit and talk about it. And I don't know, it's been such a, I don't know, I found one of their videos because they review like new things too, so they were talking about The Acolyte, the Star Wars show. And I needed somebody to help. It's like the show made me so mad because it was so bad, and just the way that they break the show down, and they don't do it where they're just like, yeah, the show is bad, here's why, and then here's how, like, Star Wars, they're trying to be good and like progressive, but they're doing it in your face, and then it makes the show bad. But then also the writing's terrible. They just have a very balanced approach where they're not like, why are the stormtroopers black? They're not like that. They're normal people. They just are like, this is a bad show, and then it feels annoying because they're doing this and this cloying stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like they have a measured, balanced approach, and they're not racist. So I appreciate that they're not racist.
The stormtroopers can't be black.
Did you hear? Like, that was when that trailer came out for the first new movie. There was a bunch of people online that were so mad
with Finn. Like the Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I probably remember it then, but it's just like, it's hilarious. It's just like so much stuff is going on, futuristic, like, but it's just like, what, a black stormtrooper? Like that's where they draw the line. Like,
well, I think for some people, if you watch, like, in the Clone Wars, right, all the stormtrooper guys are clones.
Supposed to be that one, yeah.
But if you watch the Clone Wars TV show and then the Rebels show and all that, you see that, like, they get older quicker. Like, they have a
short lifespan.
Right, because they're supposed to grow up quicker so they can be adults and they can, like, fight or whatever. Yeah. And so by the time the Empire is even a thing, a lot of those stormtroopers are just guys that are in the army. Like, they get conscripted or they join. So even those stormtroopers in the original movies are not, like, just the same guy. And then, by the time Force Awakens, it's like, well, yeah, they're all kinds of people. Like, it doesn't make any sense that it would just be clones. So you can't even use like an in-canon argument to be racist. You're just racist.
I mean, but I don't want to say I always see racism in things, but there's so many things that I do because it's like what like for a while it was like black people can't have the Force. Like it just seemed like Finn definitely should have been like been able to have Force powers.
I was really mad when I mean, I don't mind if it's Rey, but I'm like, why can't Finn also be a Jedi? What is going on?
Yeah. And it's just like they just didn't want that, so it's really just Mace Windu.
He's the only one.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a guy, they added a character, if you watch the Obi-Wan show, there's this character, Kelleran Beck, and he's played by the actor who played Jar Jar.
Oh, okay.
But he played a Jedi. They had him play a Jedi also, and he saved a bunch of younglings.
Yeah, they made him like dope. I remember seeing that. Yeah, and because I mean, they owed him for that for Jar Jar.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we'll give you a cool character with 2 lightsabers, and he can be like a sword master teacher guy. I forget. There's gotta be more though. There's no like black Sith lords.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway,
Lando was the only black guy for a while in Star Wars.
Yeah, Billy D. Williams and Donald Glover. That I don't know. I just think it's odd.
What? Just like being upset about Star Wars things?
Well, being upset about like, especially them as a stormtrooper. Like stormtroopers, like the least important. I mean, all they do is get killed. Yeah. Like all they do is show you how cool Jedis are. Yeah. Just like mauling down or like whatever. So it was just weird that. Because I now that you mentioned, it's like I do remember like in the trailer when he takes the helmet off and he's like, I just remember also the trailer. It's like it was just him like breathing hard. Yeah. Throughout the trailer is just like he takes the helmet off and he's breathing hard, or he's running in some open area.
It's intense. It's like energy. It's like something's happening. That's the thing that J.J. Abrams does so well. Is he's so good at like making you feel like something cool's happening when not a lot's really going on. But I don't know. We could do a whole episode about how those movies piss me off. But I remember being excited, like The Force Awakens. Like, what does that mean? I thought it meant like maybe a lot of people just all of a sudden get the Force, and like, what does that do? Yeah. And that would have been such an interesting, different story. But they're like, no, we're just gonna like reset the universe kind of and do A New Hope again, because it's really what it is. There's still the rebels, even though they won. So then now there's the First Order, I guess. And then there's a ball of death, like a giant planet with a laser that kills other planets. It's like,
yeah, they just, I don't know, they just like
it's hacky, is what it is.
Well, there's so much stuff that's came out, and it's like some of it's good, some of it's bad. If only like all of the good could have been in one part, and then that would have been amazing, because like The Mandalorian is like a great show. And then, there's just
the Book of Boba Fett is the opposite. It's one of the worst shows.
I was a fan of Boba Fett before that show.
I'm still a fan of Boba Fett. People like to do this thing too. They like to go, well, he was never meant to be a big character. He's a side character. It's like, that's not an excuse. You can make any character interesting. Like any great central character was nothing until someone wrote the character. So like, Boba Fett can be a side character that's really cool if you give him a good story and a good character, but they didn't. They made him, I don't know, it was just boring.
Yeah. Well, also it's like you can't, like The Mandalorian was too hot. You can't come in at that show at that point. Yeah. Because it's just like everybody loves Mando, so it's just like, even on Boba Fett, the best episode is when it's just Mando. Yeah. It's like, it's an episode, it's like a, I don't know, 2.5, season 2.5 of The Mandalorian. He just comes in one episode, is like, he does the coolest shit and then he leaves. It's like Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, where it's just like, all of his scenes are just like,
the best part of
the best part. Yeah. And then he's just gone. And then, so.
It's a magic trick. It's gone. Yeah. I don't know. It just feels, it's like that thing. It's all that stuff is made by committee. You could just feel the lack of creativity. Like somebody probably was having a really cool creative idea, and then it all gets watered down along the way by a bunch of different voices, and half of those voices are stupid executives who don't understand anything.
Yeah.
It's like I was talking to Vin about this the other day about like that movie Red One.
Okay.
The Christmas movie.
Yeah.
If I actually watched it. I sat and I watched the whole movie.
With The Rock or something?
Yeah. And Chris Evans.
Okay.
And then J.K. Simmons is Santa Claus, but he's ripped.
So The Rock, didn't he do another movie like a year ago? Like a year before that?
He did 35 other movies a year ago.
Well, no, but it was a Netflix one. It was called Red something.
Oh, Red Notice. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And I'm like,
yeah.
It was like The Rock and like 3 other people. I think it was like Ryan Reynolds and
Gal Gadot.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I kind of grouped those.
You should, because they're all the same mediocre, lukewarm shit. That's that's my whole career, lukewarm, honestly. But it's like, well, it's
that's your first special.
Yeah, I know. I always think that. I'm like, it's not gonna be called that. I'm gonna call it like Luke Cold or Luke Hot, so it's not
Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah. No, but I was just thinking about that movie Red Notice or Red One, and how somewhere in there is a really cool idea. Like, what if Santa Claus was like this strong, crazy, like he was like more of like a buff guy, and he had this like Secret Service team that protects him from other monsters, or it's, that's kind of what it is there's someone's trying to take him down, like his ex. I don't know, it's something like that. And and then they have Kiernan Shipka playing this, like, she's the girl from Mad Men, the daughter. Now she's like older.
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
But it's like her performance makes no sense in the role. Like it's out of place, and it was, there's like a cool world and idea in there, and it just got all like trimmed and narrowed down. Like, it's like it's like super processed food. Like, there was something cool and organic here, and it's just this nutritionless thing, this like biscuit of bullshit. Like, I don't know. It was really hard to watch,
but it still came out.
It did. And possibly millions of people watched it and thought it was fine.
It's called Red Note.
Red Note, yeah.
Red Note.
Maybe that might be that movie, not Red Notice. Is it Red Note?
I don't know.
Do we have to? I'm not gonna look it up. So the special, how many views does it have?
You need a guy.
I know. Well, that's the thing. I was thinking about that. I was in the shower earlier, like doing shower thoughts, and I was like, that's why you have a producer, so that they can sit over there, and then if something goes out, like the batteries, they could just monitor, and then they go, hey, and then you stop. But I've recorded before, and then this just stops, and then you lose the whole file. And you're like, fuck.
Or you just be like Rogan, like, Jamie looked at, and then you just pause it.
Yep.
And then you go and look it up.
Oh, yeah.
You go and look it up, and you come back, you unpause it.
Yes.
Start recording again, and you'd be like, oh, thanks. Like, there's...
That'd be kind of cool if we had, if you could just, like, rent Jamie.
Yeah. With the figurative, whoever that is.
Yeah. I kind of still don't even know what he looks like. Like, once in a while, he'll go on screen. Like, it's a very rare...
Yeah.
And then he has an Instagram, so you can, like, see his face, but it's almost like he has a face that's kind of generic or something, so you still can't see it in your mind's eye. I don't know.
It's weird because some of those guys, I mean, I know I used to watch, watch and listen to, like, Robert Kelly's podcast a long time ago. And
you know what, dude?
Yeah, and it was like when Dan Soder was kind of like playing the background. So he was like, they just called him Munster voice. But then it's like
Munster, like Eddie Munster?
Just because he can make all the sounds with his voice.
Yeah.
Like, come in and do just little things like that. It's like, and then once you see him doing stand-up, being you're like, oh, this guy's great. I thought he was just going to suck because he was like,
yeah.
I think he was just newer at the time. This is like, a long time ago.
Sure.
So
yeah.
It's just like, oh, some of these, like, they're actually like are, now who Dan Soder is, like a great comic. So,
I mean, yeah, we all have to start somewhere and be shitty or new or second fiddle or whatever it is. Yeah. I've been that for 13 years.
Well, I've been doing stand-up longer than you, so I don't want to say I've been shitty. I'm not shitty, but
you're not. And you have an hour. And you have a YouTube special. I have 20 minutes of material that I like to do.
Well, some people have hours of stand-up that is just 20 minutes stretched. So don't feel bad about that.
That's true, yes. Yeah, you're going to get a nice condensed, it's going to be a dense 20 minutes of jokes and good and interesting thoughts and premises. I was working on do you want to write a joke or something?
All right. I mean,
okay, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Don't be excited or anything. What did you you were like, is there anything I need to prepare? I was like that.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean,
you're always working on stuff.
Yeah, I have like several jokes that I'm like.
Do you not want to burn it on a podcast that no one will watch?
I mean, it's like I could tell you that, like, okay, I had a thought this morning, but it just like, this is all it is right now.
Uh-huh.
So I've been trying to like drink black coffee.
Because it's Black History Month.
So that's the joke.
Okay.
Where it's like no, that's not like, like tell somebody, it's like I'm because it's healthier. So I'm trying to start drinking black coffee, and if people are like, oh, because it's Black History Month, it's like, oh, I can't.
Is it all white people that ask you that?
The only, but it's like nobody's even asked me that yet. But I thought a white person would ask me that, and you just proved my point.
I just wanted to give you good data for your stats.
So right now it's hit at 100%.
I'll still put this out. It's fine. I know.
No, but it's like the joke will turn into more than that. But it's just like it's like, so don't tell anybody you're starting to drink black coffee this month. You gotta wait a couple days, and then just because I was
drinking black coffee.
Yeah,
I don't think stevia changes the color of it.
I know, but then I'm like Googling, is it still considered black coffee if you put sugar in it? And Google's like, nah, it's not black coffee. So it doesn't get my respect, So like, my mom drinks black coffee. She always has, and I just like don't want to do it. Just like, even if just put a little bit of Splenda in it, just to.
Yeah, it made me think. I was thinking like, I don't know if you're a Star Trek guy, but Catherine Janeway, the captain of Voyager, she'd be like, coffee black, like that's how she drinks her coffee. I'm like, that's probably how she likes her men too.
My mom or Catherine?
Oh, both?
So yeah.
I'm just imagining Captain Janeway with, I don't know, Idris Elba.
I
from Star Trek Beyond.
I just it reminds me of like John Mulaney has a joke about his dad. Like one black coffee, where it's like he takes the kids on to McDonald's or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And he orders the one black coffee because they're on their trip somewhere
with kids in the car. Yeah. No Happy Meals or whatever he said. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, it's supposed to be good for you, a good way to start the day.
Yeah.
And so I will get to it. I'm trying to be healthier for just stuff in general. So
it's good.
And then it's like it's like you can eat something else with it, but just the black coffee is supposed to be good.
Do you drink coffee before you eat any food, or do you try to eat it or have food with your coffee? Because for a while I did intermittent fasting for like a month to just see if I could do it, and I think I lost 5 pounds. But I would drink coffee because I'm like, it's like, well, you can have coffee. There's no calories or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I would have like black coffee with stevia. So black coffee asterisk. and then I would have to pee like 1,000 times because I just only had coffee in my system, and I'm like, yeah, let's go, creativity. And then at noon I would just like eat a bunch of food. What was my question? Yeah.
I mean, I would try not to.
Yeah.
But then like I had a coffee, and I'm like, well, since I'm not really gonna eat a breakfast, I'll get like a Snickers or something like that. Then it doesn't matter if the coffee's black because I'm still getting the sugar somewhere.
Yeah. You're getting like more than you should, and it's super processed. That's hilarious.
But people drink coffee, and it's like they have a donut. So it's like, it's kind of like that. But
what's like another food? I'm trying to think for your joke. Like, what's another food that you can take, like either like a black food that's or like a food that you take as just by itself, and maybe there's some way to tie that into something. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you have to say black coffee. You should just be able to say coffee
or plain coffee.
Yeah, I mean,
Raw coffee,
just coffee.
Rafi, the child singer,
Native coffee.
native coffee.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where else I would go with that joke.
Maybe that's like, why is it called black coffee? I know but I mean, why do we have to call it black coffee? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just like a 90s comic. What's the deal with this? I don't know.
no, it makes me think about others. Like, cause I said, I'll have all these like lingering jokes. So like,
Yeah.
one is like, why so many black superheroes have to have black in their name?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, they have a secret identity. The only thing that they will tell you is what race they are. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, why is that part? You know, it's like, you know, not Spider-Man, but then it's like Miles Morales Spider-Man. And it's like Black Spider-Man. It's like, okay. Black Lightning, Black Panther.
Yep. There's it's in Black Lightning. I'm trying to think of the other black superhero. Well, Green Lantern, there's a John Stewart. His name's John Stewart.
Yeah, they don't call him Black.
No. Well, because he's already Green Lantern.
Yeah.
If he died, they could call him Black Lantern because dead people can be like Black Lanterns.
Yeah.
Have you gotten into all that with the crazy? They have all the different colors.
When they die,
Well, there's like this crazy.
I've seen the red and the yellow.
Yeah. There's like indigo, white lantern, pink. The pink is like the star sapphire thing.
Okay.
I think.
Do they all have the same powers? Like, it's like whatever they think of?
Kind of, but then they're based on different emotions. So like the red lanterns are like rage or anger.
Oh, okay.
And then there's an orange lantern, but there's just one because it's like avarice. It's like greed or something. So he's like, I'm the only one with the orange lantern.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the yellow lanterns are like fear-based or something like that. But the green lanterns are will.
Oh, that's what that...
Yeah. And then I forget the indigo or blue or something. There's like compassion or I don't know, something else. Something gay like that. I never
really cared about Green Lantern like as a superhero. It just seemed like all the I'm invested in all the other ones. It's just like I don't really...
Even Plastic Man, but not Green Lantern.
Yeah. Plastic Man, Mr. Fantastic. So yeah.
No, but Plastic Man's different. Do you know
his power is different?
Oh no, I thought you were saying it's the same guy.
Like, yeah,
okay.
No,
My bad.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize. I didn't mean to question your nerdity.
Come on, man.
I just always thought Plastic Man was so good. Like, at least Mr. Fantastic has like a cool outfit. I don't know. Plastic Man just looks like he looks like a shitty dollar store toy. You know, like he just has this weird red shirt, these glasses, and like I don't know.
But he looks like his name. But I think it's also like those. I think he was the first, so it's hard to be like. But his name is shitty, you know. Like this guy's called Mr. Fantastic, and I'm called Plastic Man.
Yeah.
But it's like you came out first.
Well, also, I mean, Superman is a dumb name. It's just like he's super and he's a man. I mean, if you were to start now and make a superhero, you wouldn't call it Superman.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they've created so much content, so they don't seem like it. But all their names are pretty dumb.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Batman is, you know,
he's a bat and he's a man. So he's Batman.
Because like
Spider-Man.
How long would it take, before people realize he's Batman? You know, like he had to tell people he calls himself Batman.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I don't know, this guy's super dressed all in black, beats the shit out of people, but he has to be like, he has to keep saying I'm Batman so people know he's Batman.
They're probably like, it's the demon or the gargoyle. He's like, no, it's Batman. I'm fucking Batman. I'm not the gargoyle. Do I look ugly? Well, show us your face. Well, I can't show you my face.
And it's like he can only fight crime when there's a full moon.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, nobody, you know, shit is
Werewolf man.
Shit is just happening. He doesn't know there's any crime happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wonder if Black Panther drinks black coffee. He probably drinks some kind of cool tea. I feel like he's a tea guy.
Yeah, and it's like with Black Panther's a little different just because it's like...
Did they just make it...
I mean, Panthers. Well, it was made because of the
Black Panthers movement thing. Yeah.
And so that kind of makes sense. But then there's like Black Lightning. It's like there's no reason for him to be called.
Yeah, there's no superhero named Lightning.
Yeah.
He could just be the Lightning. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other.
I think originally his name was Lightning, and then some idiot that he saved was racist.
Yeah.
And then it was like, thank you, Black Lightning.
Well, at least like Blade is just Blade. It's not Black Blade. BB. Blade is so cool. He's probably my favorite. He's like one of my favorite. He's like hands down top 3 favorite superheroes.
Oh yeah.
Just because of that movie, like the first movie.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes is so cool, and just I don't know that it's such a. I don't know if you've seen that movie lately, but it holds up so well in this weird. Like it was like before comic book movies were a thing, but it works so well, even though it's like so bonkers sometimes.
Yeah.
And the CGI at the end is kind of bad when he like cuts the guy in half and he flies up and then his blood pulls him back together or something. But just that first scene when that guy's going to the nightclub and he's just sort of slowly realizing it's a vampire nightclub and the blood and the sprinklers, and then Wesley Snipes just comes in and kills everybody. It's like,
yeah, it's such a cool, it is such a
it's iconic and original. It's just I've never seen anything like that, and they just don't do that anymore. I don't know.
And also like just him in general, like just being so invested in the character, like from the jump, that it's like that's what made the movie so cool. That it was there weren't any other movies like that, and it was just like, and like this is like this is before like The Matrix, so I think The Matrix like kind of grabbed onto that from that whole
like all the
club scene,
underground like leather cool clothes. The bondage, it's like almost bondage clothing, but not. Yeah. But I don't know. Vampires are, that's kind of like, vampires are like basically Euro trash. So that's how they dress.
But it's also like, I think that's like the first movie where the vampires are like scared of something. Mm-hmm. Like in every other movie, it's like everybody's just scared of the vampires, but it's like they're scared of Blade.
Yeah. The Daywalker. So, yeah. Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill. Yeah. That's such a good line. I don't even know if that's from the comic or they made it up for the movie.
He definitely made it up. There's no way that was...
It's a Wesley Snipes original?
Yep.
I think you're right. I think so. Did you watch Deadpool 3? Or Wolverine? Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's okay to spoil that Blade's in that movie.
So, yeah, if you don't know by now, fuck.
Yeah, what are you doing? That was so cool. I just couldn't. I was like, "What? No way!" Like it was just such a cool reveal. I didn't know any of the spoilers for that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and then they threw everybody off because like before it came out, they were still talking about conflict between Ryan Reynolds and Wesley Snipes.
Oh yeah.
So that was making it seem like he was not in the movie, and then like when the movie was about like I think a day before it came out, then they did like some press thing, and so he was there.
Oh yeah.
But before that, it's like people wanted him to be in the movie, but they just didn't think, especially because they were already in process of making a Blade movie.
Yeah, which that movie is like falling apart real bad behind the scenes. Like it's not happening, I don't think.
Yeah, and it sucks because it's like Mahershala Ali is like an amazing actor, so I want him to see him in a role like that. And then, but also like Wesley Snipes, it like, I don't know how to do it the right way where it's like, you pay respect to him, because the whole like Marvel going bankrupt and then like being able to get out of that is like thanks to that Blade movie and how well it did.
Oh, the movie side of Marvel.
Yeah, like Iron Man and all that's like, they always say Iron Man is like the father of the MCU, but it's like that they would have never even been able to get to that without these other like
Blade, X-Men. Yeah. No, totally. And and he looked good in the movie. It's like he's in shape. He could do, like, if they want to do a trilogy of Blade movies, he could do it. I think there's enough time. You could like bang the movies out pretty quick and make sure he's not like 80 by the time they're done.
And I mean, like at first I was like, because I still wanted him to be in it. I thought they might do like a like him come back as like Whistler. He's like, the kind of
oh yeah,
or like, you know,
like it could be like Blade Beyond, like Batman Beyond.
yeah,
And then he's the old Blade that's telling the new Blade how to.
Yeah. But I mean, also I don't want to like push Wesley out either. So it's almost like if they had what is that called? Like the multiverse. I know they're kind of over that, but it's just like him be Blade in another world, and then him be Blade. Yeah, him be Blade in one world, and then the other guy Blade in the current one. You know, whatever they want to do. But
yeah, like with Spider-Man, where it's like, oh, there's an older Spider-Man over here, and then
they're just all around. You know, but
I don't think they're gonna abandon the multiverse. They'll use the multiverse as much as they need it now, but I don't know if it's gonna be like their. Well, I don't know. I don't know what Secret Wars and because there's two Avengers. There's like Secret Wars and there's a
Doomsday.
Yeah. And I don't know what Secret Wars story is like, or if there's a Doomsday story. Like I kind of knew about the Thanos thing because I read the graphic novel. But even that, it's like they changed a bunch. So they'll just do whatever makes sense for their story to get what they want to make, fit things.
Yeah, I mean, Secret Wars is like them grabbing different heroes and then making them all fight against each other.
Oh, okay.
So that's what they were going to use to pull all the different multiverse. So then they could use X-Men characters now, because I mean now it's a little. I think they're going to do a different route. Yeah, but it's like that's how you could get like Venom from the Sony one, Spider-Man, and X-Men and all them in the same room. Right, but they're also switching people because now Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Dr. Doom. And then
I'm wondering, is that going to be where it's like a multiverse where what if, I don't know if it's going to be Tony Stark, but what if it's like a guy who's his family, like he became Dr. Doom, or if he'll just play Dr. Doom and you never see his face. Because you don't see, because Dr. Doom's kind of like, he got his face fucked up when he was young, and then he's all disfigured, so he wears the mask. So it's like, you don't need to ever see his face.
Is that how he is?
I think so. He doesn't take. I mean, he's disfigured under the mask.
Yeah, but I didn't really follow like Fantastic Four comics, but I
didn't either.
From the movies and stuff, it was like they all kind of got created at the same time.
Yeah, but that movie is very bad, movie, right? Very wrong.
The movies.
I think what it is that Dr. Doom grew up. See, and I'm like conflating different things because I watch Venture Brothers.
Mix them with the rapper.
Yeah, MF Doom, and then also Venture. Have you ever seen Venture Brothers? Oh my God, I think you'd love that show. It's hilarious. It's an Adult Swim show. It started in 2003, and they just wrapped it up recently with like a final like a movie. I haven't watched it because I was going to try to rewatch some of it before I. Anyways, they sort of borrow and joke about a lot of like comic book stuff. So there's like a stretchy character with like. He's like a Fantastic Four guy, but he's a douchebag and he's a negligent father and all that stuff. And it's Stephen Colbert's the voice. And then they have like, there's the Johnny Storm character, when he catches on fire, he's just on fire and it hurts. And he's like, ah! Like if you put him in, he can't be in oxygen because he'll just catch on fire. Okay. And then like the Thing is just like a big scab, but he's like a special needs guy. So he's like, Hank hurt. Hank don't feel good, like, and then the woman, when she turns invisible, it's just her skin, so she just looks horrifying because you can see her muscles.
Yeah, okay.
And but anyways, like there's a character who's like Baron von Underbite, and it's this guy with like a metal jaw, and when he takes the jaw off, his tongue just like flops out. But the idea is like in the show, him and the main character, the Dr. Venture guy, and the stretchy guy, like they all went to college at the same time. So I think Reed Richards and Dr. Doom were friends. And they went to school together.
Some connection because like Reed Richards is supposed to be like the smartest guy in the world,
right? But then so is Dr. Doom, kind of.
Doom, yeah. I mean, and so I think that's why they easily like would say like, oh, in a different universe, like Tony Stark could easily turn into Dr. Doom because he creates Doom bots. Like they're like tech based genius, but he also has
he's magic too, right? Yeah.
So it's just like.
But then it's like, are they going to do it where it's literally Tony Stark becomes Dr. Doom, or are they going to do it where he's playing, I forget what Dr. Doom's name is, but he's like a different guy.
It's like Victor Von Doom.
Right, Victor, yeah. I knew that, but I couldn't pull it out.
So, yeah, and I don't know, because like they were talking about Chris Evans coming back and being like a different like a bad version of Cap. So it'd be like the Hydra, but I don't think they're gonna do that anymore, based on like the shit that's going on in the world right now, where just like people throwing up freaking Nazi salutes.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I saw Steve Bannon did it recently.
Yeah, and this other guy did it too. Yeah, they're doubling down on this, which is like, I don't
don't understand what the goal is. Like,
I don't know. It's so odd, and then it's like,
and then are people excited about it, or are they like, yes, that? Because I can't imagine I don't know, but I'm assuming there's a lot of Trump voters who are just regular people who like some of the stuff he wants to do. Those people, there's no way they're like, yeah, do more of those. Like,
yeah, but it's like this in love thing where you're with a woman that's terrible, and you just like,
well,
don't worry about Don't worry about all the bad shit. You love her, so then it's just like, oh yeah, every now and then she does that, but she doesn't do that all the time, guys. Like, you're just trying to describe like why she's. It's like, oh yeah. You know, after a speech, she has to do that, but that's just like it's a weird tick. I don't know. It's like, how can you call?
Yeah, like she doesn't post me on her social media and kind of hides me from people, but like she loves me. She lets me have sex with her, so it's fine. It's okay that I'm like stressed out and anxious the whole time I'm with her.
It's like every time I request to follow her, I mean, she denies it, but
yeah,
I know her heart. You know, she definitely lets me buy her lunch all the time. So.
She always makes me leave her house before the sun comes up, but like that's not weird. She's an early riser. She likes to get going. You know, she's definitely not going back to sleep afterwards to sleep until a normal time.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think because of that, they're definitely not gonna play that angle, because there was like in the comic books there was like a Hydra version of Cap.
You could do it and then just not have him do they could like go away from the Nazi part maybe and just make it Hydra comic booky, like Cobra, you know, like G.I. Joe Cobra.
Because even in the earlier movies, when they have Hydra, they
do it different
shit about the Nazis. Like they were like,
right,
they're the stupid ones.
Right, we're the smart ones. Yeah. And then they have a different salute. They don't do the
they do two fist up.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah.
I don't think they couldn't do it, but you're right. Disney is like pussies. Like they don't want to like court that kind of conversation. Even though honestly, if you did do something like that, it would drive like more controversy, would make more people go see the movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But then it's like also the actors.
Yeah.
I don't want to be associated with that. It's like, dude, this whole time you've been Captain America and everybody loves you. And then like,
well, no, that's why at the end of whatever the story is, you go back in time to like 1972. Cap's a little older. He's with Peggy. You go like, we need you for one last mission. And he comes back and he kicks the shit out of Hydra Cap. And he's like, that's America's ass again. or he kicks his ass and then he's laying face down. He goes, that's not America's ass. That part was so good. America's ass thing. That was funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the thing. I hate like speculating and talking about what it could be, and then they won't do the cool thing that it could be or should be, because you know what I mean? Like getting creative with it, and you're like, they're not going to be that creative though. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, like what you're saying is like corporate interests in like what the studios like have to, or what they want to do. So it's always like,
and what they're afraid of.
Watered down. Yeah, it's so afraid to offend anybody. But then it's people out there in the world, they don't give a damn about offending people. You know, they'll just say like crazy stuff, and then it's like arguing with somebody, but they're at work. You know, you're just some crazy person, and you could say whatever, but they have to act a certain way because they're at work.
And so, do you mean the corporate people are like that, or what do you mean? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying like corporate, like nobody wants to take a stance on anything.
Yeah,
because it's like, oh, if I offend this, it's gonna affect our ad revenue and all this stuff. Whereas like there's these people that are under the wire, or you know, like they're not on anybody's payroll, so they're just saying crazy.
Ari Shaffir.
Yeah, they're just saying crazy stuff, taking dumps on stage or whatever.
Yeah. The day after Kobe dies, just being like, I never liked him. He sucks.
Yeah.
Just going crazy.
Yeah. Now take that stance. Yeah. You know, whatever.
No. Yeah. I don't know. That's why I'm I want to make the movie like independent that we're making, because it's like hopefully we have creative control and just do whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, I think about that. I'm like, well, if Amazon was like, here's $5 million, but you have to do this and this and this, would I do that? And I'm like, maybe I would, because then I would like definitely get to make the movie, and then maybe after that I could go more independent and make my own thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's a trade-off that you have to do, where it's like you have to do what they want, but you get to do it, but then you're kind of not doing what you wanted to do.
And I think there's always a way to figure it out to where you can, like, your vision might change from how it was originally, but there's a way to do it in a way that it's like plausible that you know you're doing what they want, even though you're doing what
you want. Yeah, if you're smart enough, you can get around it, because they're dumb ultimately. They're not smart with the things they want to do, or they think. I think a good.
So we're recording this, so I was like, no, they're not dumb. You know, they got some good ideas.
Well, we're not. I think you can always say they, because you're not naming like specific executives. Yeah. So it's like they'll all be like, well, it's not me, obviously.
Yeah, the other ones are dumb.
Yeah, those Warner Brothers guys, or those Fox guys, idiots.
I'm not saying them.
Yeah, yeah. But like, fuck, I lost my train of thought. No, it's okay. Nacho. You can't see Nacho, but he's over there.
He's good. He's just like sitting back.
Yeah. Wait, okay, we're joking about... What did we say right before the executives thing? Like people who... I want to make the movie. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. About making the movie, but like having to change it. Would you do it for $5 million? Like,
yeah.
If they're telling you like you gotta... It's like
yeah. I remember. I was going to say... I think someone who tried to do that, where they tried to do their version, but also what the studio wanted, was one of the Wachowskis when they made the fourth Matrix movie. Because have you seen that one?
That last one, right?
Yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah.
They tried to do this thing where they have all this super meta commentary at the beginning, where Neo's like a game developer and they're making a Matrix video game, and they have a boardroom meeting where they're just talking like, well, we need to do this, but we have to do that. And they're like, with a focus group said this and this. And it's like, you could tell she just literally wrote like what the meeting she was in before they made the movie and put it in the movie to be like, fuck you. But then she did it sort of, but to me, it's not successful because it was just annoying and like, okay, we get it. That, because I think for her, it was like, either you do this movie or we're going to do it without you. And so she's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But then instead of making a fun, good movie, she just made a movie complaining that she had to make the movie.
Yeah.
And then that's just annoying and a waste of time for everybody involved.
Well, and then not only that, it takes away from the legacy of it, you know?
Yeah.
Or just like, because even like with, I do remember how that was.
Yeah.
It's just like, they took everything like that meant something from the other movies and hobbled it. So it just like, it not only like makes that last one suck, it makes you be like, oh, there's really no stakes in these first couple ones. Whereas like when I watched it, I felt like it was important. Cause like they did that with like Game of Thrones. So the last season of it, it's like, and it's like the rest of the show is great. And like almost anybody that watched Game of Thrones, you could have wrote the last season, because all it is like all these loose ends, you just tie them all up.
Yeah.
Like it was building to that. Well, and then they just didn't do any of that stuff you wanted.
Right. It was like loose ends tied poorly together. It was like, and then people were just traveling from all over the place. Like they're just showing up. Oh, look, this guy's here. Because it's exciting if it surprises you that this person's suddenly here to save the day, or this person's meeting this person now. And it felt like fanfic. It felt very, because I don't know. I heard this recently that part of that was Weiss and Benioff, the creators of the show.
They didn't want to do it.
Yeah, they got tired of doing it, and then they were also supposed to be doing a Star Wars trilogy. So I think they were trying to get through it so they could get to their Star Wars thing, or they were just like not involved anymore. Like they didn't care because they wanted to get off of it. And it's like, that sucks, man. Like you'd made one of the best shows ever until those last 2 seasons or 3 seasons.
But I don't really take like pride in people's misfortune.
Yeah.
But I'm glad like that doing it that way and like making the because it was like the last 2 seasons that like it was supposed to be 1 season and then they were like, no, we're gonna split it into 2, but then they just poorly did it. And
yeah, the whole Daenerys turn.
It made them lose the thing they were trying to get to. They were trying to get to that Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
And because that was so shitty and everybody hated it, they lost that. Yep. And it's like, you deserve to lose that because there was really like storylines that should have just been able to end. And like, I know it's like when everybody's expecting something, sometimes people want to do something else because it's what everybody's expecting. But there's sometimes where it's like, that is how a story works. When you're telling a story, like you already have the end of it, so it doesn't make sense that at the end of it, it just doesn't go the way the way the story is supposed to go. Like,
yeah,
it's like I'm telling a story about me being married, and then it's like at the end of it, it's like, oh no, I never got married.
Yeah,
it's like, well, why the fuck did you? Why do you waste all this time with this build up and the dating and what you were leading to and all this stuff? It's like, oh yeah, she said no, but
yeah. Are you talking about how Daenerys ended up not being the chosen like ruler kind of thing?
How she wasn't the I mean, now it's like it's like time away, so I've kind of taken that stuff from my mind, but it's just like she wasn't the chosen ruler, or just like how she turned out.
Yeah. It wasn't
like
earned.
She was a good person, the whole show, and then at the end she was just like a shitty person.
So, some people were arguing like, well, there was moments where she would get upset and just do something impulsive, right? Like I think when she came to conquer one of the places, she like just she would like come in and just change things, like just be like, we're not doing this anymore, no more slaves, or no more this, or no more that. But it would like have these consequences of like messing up the local socioeconomic, and then she would just like, oh, I'm just going to kill this guy. But in the context of the show, it'd always be like the good thing. And then I think they were trying to justify like, well, see how she's always been this impulsive person. And it's like, but not so impulsive that she just sits there on a dragon and goes, I'm going to kill fucking everybody for no fucking reason,
Yeah.
And there's a way to get her there, right? There's a way to build up, like she's done all this, she's here, everybody loves her, everything's great, and then some people let her down, but it's like it needs to be a slower process to get to that point where she breaks.
Yeah, or just like, yes, she loses something that she can't afford to lose, and then that just destroys all the goodwill. But like now that we start talking about, it's like I remember all this other stuff. Like Jon Snow did not kill the Night King. That was a big deal.
Yeah,
Arya just jump in and just kill him.
Yeah.
There was this guy that Arya got connected to that kind of taught her like how to become like an assassin.
Yeah, the faceless man.
Yeah, and that storyline didn't go anywhere. And it was like it was a cool thing where it's just like he just shows up, and it's like whenever she needs him, he shows up, and there was supposed to be like some reveal of like who this person actually was.
Yeah, didn't she kill him or he died? Something happened. She left, and she was like, "Fuck you." I don't even remember what she did.
At the end, I think she was still alive. I mean, she went sailing, but it's like the guy was like jogging Hagar or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened to him.
I know. I don't remember. I'm sure that I vaguely remember like he died. He killed her, or some other guy killed her, or killed him, or something. But then I don't remember.
He can't die, right? I feel like he can't die.
Yeah.
And then like Bran became the king.
That was stupid. I don't even know how to articulate how dumb that was.
That's what I'm saying. It's like all this stuff where it's just like things that didn't need to happen happened, and then the stuff that you wanted to happen did not happen.
Yeah. And the thing about Bran is it's like here's the thing. They said allegedly or whatever that George R. R. Martin told them the ending, and they did that. So apparently, like, the stuff that happens is what is going to happen if he ever finishes the books. But my feeling is, like, it's like we've been saying, the way they did it is retarded. Like, they didn't do it in a way that it didn't earn any of that stuff. But I could see if you have, like, a long-ass book, there's a lot of storytelling you could do to make these things make sense. Like, Bran being the king, because he sort of turned into this, like, AI supercomputer versus, like, a person. He could be like making the right choices because he's not emotional. He's not like, he doesn't have an ego, all that stuff. Like he could just be like, well, we need to have enough grain, so we're going to do this and then store it, and then now there's grain for the winter. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that it makes sense that that's who the ruler should be, maybe. But the way that the show happens, it's like, oh, we just voted. I don't even remember how they chose. He just became the king. It's like,
yeah, and it's like he, it just that's not, an emotionless king is kind of like, that's never how the story would work out anyway.
right.
So it's just like
It's very underwhelming. It's like, oh, like at least Jon Snow, who's like a reluctant king, and he would do the right thing, but he wouldn't want to do it, you know?
right, yeah, like he had to kill Daenerys.
Yeah. Which he shouldn't have had to do. I don't know. And that pissed me off too. It's like, so he falls in love with her. They have this whole thing. They have sex, whatever. And then he finds out she's his aunt. And then he's like, ew. And I get it. It's gross, but it's like, you already did this. I don't know. Like, that's right. That's what happened, right? And then he shunned her. He was like, I can't be around you. And I'm not saying like I would want to keep, but I'm like, it was just so like ham-fisted and not done well. I don't know. It was very stupid.
It's like, dude, you're so focused on that. It's almost like you're not riding around on dragons. You're like, ew, I can't do that. But
yeah, think about all the stuff you have.
There's all this craziness going on.
All this cool stuff you get to do, and you're like, yeah, but my aunt's pussy. We're doing great on time. This is a great episode. I don't know. I keep looking at my watch. It's not on.
I'm trying to think of what else. I don't know, but watching that last season, I'm just like, oh, okay. I guess the best show is Breaking Bad. Then I guess that's just what, you know.
When you hear how they wrote that show too, they would just come up with some crazy ending to the season and just work their way to that. So like, you know, the gun in the trunk.
Yeah,
that was like, that'd be cool. And then they just like, we don't know how we're gonna get there, and they're just such good writers that it worked out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It really just depends. I think it's always possible to make something like great, but there's so many ways along the way where it could get fucked up.
Yeah, and I mean, I do get that, but it's like when people are purposely doing it, that's where I got like a problem with it. When it's just like, you're like, it's better to not make something than to make trash on purpose.
Yeah,
because it's like, that is, you know, it's like your name, but it's also like, it's, if you do anything good, there's always like that people come back to. It's just like, what was he thinking? What was on her mind when she was writing that, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I just hope like the things I make end up being decent, like halfway decent, you know, if not great. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you want things to be the best that you can do, and it's like,
yeah,
sometimes it might be the best you could do at that point, and then it's like you do get better. So like,
where you're in a weird place mentally and you can't fully like. I had like a year where I was just so depressed and feeling so weird, you know, just bad. And I feel like a lot of creativity was just, I don't know. I feel better now, right? But at the time I could see how, and that's just like a bad, like a breakup thing or something that made me sad. But then like, imagine like you have a health problem and you're dying, you know, it's like,
yeah.
And then you're okay afterwards, but maybe for a while you're dying, or like, you know, your house explodes while you're out of town because the gas main, I don't know, just so many worse things could happen to you. So I could just see how like all these things in your life can affect your professional life. Yeah, and I just see it more than I used to, I guess. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, you are. Yeah, but I think stuff like with that, it makes sense, you know, where it's just like, I'm just jumping around the movies, but it's like Zack Snyder having to like step away from movies. Like, that makes sense
because his daughter committed suicide. Yeah,
nobody like,
in case you're watching and you don't know what you're talking about.
Nobody like faults him. Like, how could you not? This is a superhero movie. It's like, no, dude. There's some things that are more important in life, and it's like you're not. Yeah. You like you gotta let stuff go and you gotta let it go. So it's like I feel like nobody has any issues with that. But it's like when you have the keys to the kingdom and then you just fuck it off because you're like, I'm about to go over here and do this.
My brain is in a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It's like, I don't know. It also makes me upset because I'm like, the Star Wars people couldn't just chill and be like, just give them a couple more years to finish Game of Thrones and then hire, like, just why does it need to be now? It's this thing of
the price was gonna go up. Like I think they got like, I don't fault Star Wars for getting them on board to have something up next, but it's just like the person has to have enough resolve in them to be like, the integrity of the work,
their character. We gotta finish this off the right way, and then that's how I feel. I hope about Stranger Things, because those guys are like, there's no release date still.
Yeah,
because they're like, well, we don't know. We're trying to get it this year, but it's we don't want to mess this up. We want to make this right. And the last season, I thought season 3 was kind of whatever. Like, it was fine, but it wasn't. It's not memorable to me. Season 4, I felt like I was so into that season, and they had like the mid-season ending, and that was crazy. And then there was more, and somehow I'd be like, how do they have a whole other episode after this? And it just kept being good. And I'm like, whatever those guys need to do, if they need to take another 5 years, I don't care. Like, I want them to make it good. And I don't know, I've been like I was like blown away by the last season. I just thought it was like really well made, considering it's like the 4th season of this.
Was that like the rock and roll one, the Robert Downey Jr. looking guy playing the guitar on the
with the bats and and then they had the creepy guy who was like, he turned out to be the other kid from the place that Eleven was from. And then he got morphed into the and then he would do like the Freddy Krueger thing where he'd go in people's dreams and like kill them.
That was good.
It felt like every season they would pick a couple 80s movies and then just kind of emulate, because there was like a Terminator bad guy at one point, like a guy who was just that might have been season 3, I don't remember, but there was a guy who was that's just the Terminator. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I forgot about that until you mentioned, but it's like, he didn't have any superpowers. He just was like,
he just kind of looked like the Terminator and acted like him and shot guns that way or whatever he was doing. I need to watch the seasons. I kind of want to go through it again.
That's crazy. You think about it. It's like there's no place for that. That guy doesn't live in that same world.
No,
but he was. And now, I
don't know. Yeah, that show's so good. I'm excited. Do you mind if I run a joke idea by you?
Oh, no.
Okay. I don't know if you have any more. What?
Black coffee.
Black coffee.
Black coffee, wrong month. Right coffee, wrong month.
Yeah. What's like another, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like other, I feel like there's a lot. There's just, sometimes I can't connect. I'm like, there's all ideas there, but I don't know. Car alarm. I had this idea for, where did it go? Is that your car?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it is my car.
It sounded farther away than like right out there.
Did you ever see that that joke that I put up where it's like like my car alarm goes off when I was performing at Def Puppy, and so it's like I put it up because it's like somebody's car alarm is going off, and it's like you could hear it from inside the club.
Oh wow!
And then it's like we're waiting for it to stop, while I'm in the middle of my set, and then I go, I think it might be my car. And so then I take my keys out, and then it's like it is my truck. It's like I'm the shittiest audience member.
That's funny. That's a clip you put out?
Yeah.
I think I missed that one. Yeah. There's been a couple times too where I didn't have time to watch it, or I couldn't play it or something, so I just like it and then just keep going. Like, so I'm like, I'd give him the like,
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna watch that in a minute, but so I was gonna, like, I'm dating a Mexican girl, so I was gonna be like, I've been charging her tariffs to go on dates with me. So now she opens 25% of doors for me instead, or something like that. And then I was like, oh, and then actually I've been charging her 100% actually, because in pesos it's only like 10 pesos or $10. Like, and then I was another thing was like, I renamed her pussy from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. The joke is a bit of a stretch, okay, but vagina's pretty stretchy. So that's my. She said these jokes are okay too. I've asked her.
Okay, so. Yeah. I didn't want to comment before.
No, she has the best sense of humor.
So the
Hilarious.
question is, well, what does Google call it?
Yeah. That's good. What does Google call it? Google changed it, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they keep going back and forth. It shows one way to us, and then it's like everybody else it shows the Gulf of Mexico.
I like the idea. It's like it'd be funny if it was like a hologram, you know, like those hologram lenticular where you turn it this way and it's that, but you turn so like if you're on Google Maps, if you turn it to the right, it says Gulf of America. The left, it's like Gulf of Mexico still. You know, right, left. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's what I don't know. I feel like anything Trump does, I'll just say that about my girlfriend. I don't know.
So with the tariffs, then
I don't fully know if that's the best phrasing I have so far. Like, but
yeah, I'm just wondering. It's like then what? Because the whole thing is like the tariffs is like the consumer has to end up paying for it. They charge them extra, but then you have to pay extra.
Right.
So what would her?
So I still end up I still end up paying for everything somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. That might not make the joke work, but it's like, let me explain tariffs to you. It's like, oh,
now I'm falling asleep.
Yeah, people don't really understand what it is.
Yeah. Well, apparently they use them all the time. I didn't know. Like a lot of presidents use them for stuff. It's just not so crazy and like in your face and like, I'm just gonna do 50% tariffs and everything. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what that impression. That's not Trump at all.
He's him kind of sleepy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I kind of lost my train of thought, but
tariffs charging my girlfriend to go out with me.
Yeah, so I think they do exist, but I think with certain places there's better trade agreements with the countries that are connected to us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the issue. It's like there was a trade agreement, but then now you're changing that. So I don't know. I just wanted to bore every in case there was like somebody listening.
I felt my eyelids getting heavy while you were talking. No, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's something there. I don't know. Sometimes the writing session doesn't go super. We just barely think of something, but you know, talking it out always helps. Makes you think about it a little bit, and then later you're like, oh, I did. I don't know, but there's something about also like. I mean, I could also be like, oh, I charged her 25%. Like now she opens the door for me, but like now she closes the back door to me. Her borders are closed, something like that. She built a wall around her butthole. I did get her to build the wall, but she built it around her butthole. Just imagining like a little brick wall like around the butthole. Or just her panties are made out of bricks. I don't know. There's like watchtowers all around it.
He's like, you sure she approved all this? All this talk about her vagina?
I think so. She's pretty cool. She's
like, yeah, that episode's not coming out.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
You gotta stick around to the end to get to that part. Well, we can wrap it up.
You're like, yeah. So let me run my joke, and it's like, all right, good night, everybody. You just like edit the whole part out.
Oh wait, what do you mean? With
like if you talk to her about it, then afterwards, and it's
it just says like, let's run my joke, and then we don't do it.
Let run my joke, then just like pans to, and it's like, oh, all right.
This has been a good episode.
Yeah.
Did you have any more jokes you want to try or no? I don't care. We do. Let's each do one more.
All right.
Fuck it.
Let's see. You got one up?
I think so. Are you?
I don't really. I mean, I do write my jokes. I like, but I don't always write them all the way out. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of like something. It's just like
It's like a
if I
thought
have
in your
a
head.
thought that like lingers with me, then I'll keep it up, or like I'll have like what I think is the punchline, and then it's like trying to work out the story of how that would come into play, like
how you would set it up to get that punchline to hit.
Yeah, like to me, it's like the conversation, and even about the like black coffee, and then somebody going like, "Oh, because of Black History Month." Like, it's so funny that you said it exactly the way that I, know. Like I told my wife about it before. I was like, that's kind of something that's like, because I would wonder if somebody would say that. But then
have you tried it with like a black person? Have you asked them, and then have they had a response?
I mean, I thought of that this morning, so I told my wife before I came here, like just like. But then I would need a story to be like, oh, it's like I told somebody that, because I'm trying to be healthier, so I'm like, I was drinking black coffee, and then they say because of Black History Month, and it's like, no, that's not. That's not. Like, what are we getting from that?
You only have like 5 more days to do this experiment, so you better hurry up. Go to open mic and talk to every stupid comedian. Yeah,
or just go to a bunch of Starbucks.
Yeah,
and
see if the blonde girl at the counter says it or not.
I'd like a black coffee, and then just like wait. All right, no, hold that coffee. I'm gonna leave. Okay.
She just sets the coffee down in front of you, and she's like, she does this.
She's like, "What's your name?" And I'm like, "That's all you're gonna." Okay, all right. Guess this joke doesn't work here.
There's like a huge line behind you. You're just waiting for her to do this thing. Fall into my trap. Well, I don't know if you have. I'm trying to add to my Russian stuff, and like there's 2 ideas. One thing was like, my girlfriend's Mexican, her culture has such beautiful music. I was like, I wish I could share Russian music with you, but we don't have any, It's like, and if we did, it would probably just be crying. Like, it's so cold. There is no food. Like, but I've done it a couple times, and people are just like sad when I say it. It's not funny. And then like I was gonna say, and then even JR was like if I'm at a show with JR opening for him, I'd be like, even JR was telling me like I should talk about my culture more. He's like, you should share your culture, and I was like, it's like, share what? The stabbing, the corruption, the human trafficking. What are you talking about? The oligarchy. Like
you gotta lose the Russian community.
I know. I think Russian people have a good sense of humor. I don't know. Yeah, so that's that.
Let's see.
No other lingering thoughts
about the joke?
Oh no.
Oh, I mean, so one what like
your stuff. Yeah.
Okay, a joke I had is like
that one's not going anywhere.
My daughter, she told me, she's like, the other day, she's like, this boy, he did this thing to somebody, and so he basically flicked off somebody, and so she was telling me this, and at first I was like, he did that to you? And she's like, no, he did that to like another boy, but like when he flicked off, he went like this.
Oh, he did one of those like half-assed ones.
Like and it's like that was like nostalgic to me when she said, it's like no, don't do that. But it's just like, oh yeah, like grown-ups don't do that.
It's like seeing a Stussy again. You're like, oh yeah, that's cool.
It's like, oh yeah, I remember like doing shit you're not supposed to, and just
like you do like pogs and you flick. Also like flick. It's funny because I think you're supposed to say flipped off with a P, like peas, like flipped off. But then I've heard flicked off a lot. So it's like, I think that's also, but it's funny that they're both like the same word, but just the middle's different. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So there's that. It's like, I don't know. I'll tell this other one. It's just like burning through all my material. So then none of my jokes will work online anymore. But
oh yeah, because everyone's gonna see this, and then they won't come see you. There's no way. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Keep going.
I was gonna say so. My other daughter, she had brought a toy to school, and then she left it like on the playground when we were going to pick her up, and so some boy grabbed it, and then he thought it was somebody else's, so he gave it to another kid, and so we're trying to figure out who the boy was, and my other daughter saw him, and she's like, he was this boy, and he was wearing a red sweater, and he had a bluey backpack, and so it's like that's like every kid there, you know.
Yeah.
And so then it's like I wanted to ask her questions because I'm trying to figure out like who this kid was. So like my first thought is like, you know, like was he white? Was he like trying to figure out what color he was?
Yeah.
But then I realized
you're playing Guess Who with your daughter.
Yeah.
Like, what was he wearing a wig or I don't know? Flick.
But then also it's like I was like, was he white? And she didn't know what that meant. Like she knows we're black, but it's like she doesn't know what. She doesn't know. She's like, kids are not caught up on race yet, you know. We have to give that shittiness to them.
Right. We have to bless them with racism.
We gotta tell them, like, I mean, you know, it's like, yeah, she's definitely gonna learn how the real world works, but it's like right now. So then it's like once I said that and she just kind of blew it off, like she knows what I'm saying, I just like let that part go. But then I'm thinking like, is this conversation important enough? Because my daughter loves that toy. I'm like, is this conversation important enough
to accidentally introduce racism to her?
Explain race to her.
Just to find this Bratz doll that I didn't even like in the first place because the skirt is very short and it's sending a lot of bad body image messages to her.
Yeah. It's definitely going to come back to bite me in the ass.
You're like, look, baby, I'm just going to go buy you some GAC, okay? Some good old-fashioned, I'm going to go online, I'm finding GAC because that's a cool toy. I don't know. Do you know what that is?
No.
What is that Nickelodeon? It's like the slime stuff you could like.
Okay.
Yeah. Or Floam. Remember Floam?
Yeah.
That was cool. Those are good toys that don't. There's no like human form for her to like have body dysmorphia over. It could be. I bet there's a whole bit you could do about like the toys. Like, are they sending body dysmorphia messages? You know, like she's only 3, but I don't know.
And so then with the joke, it's like me trying to describe white people without saying white, and then I realized like I only know how to describe white people.
Does this boy, can he not dance? Is he a bad dancer?
I only have Christmas terms, so I'm like, did he have rosy red cheeks?
Okay.
Like, that's the angle I went with it. It's just like I'm just describing Santa, which like ironically he would be wearing a red sweater
and a blue backpack.
He has a blue backpack
because it's a gift for someone and he's delivering it, you know.
Yeah.
It's convenient to carry the backpack on your back.
So
rosy red cheeks.
It's like it's just like, did he a corn cob pipe was that sticking out of it? I can only describe white people in the winter, but it's not even white people. I can only describe Christmas.
That's funny. That's a good punchline of just being like, I can only describe white people by how they look in the winter. I like it. There's something there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you could also you could probably have jokes about like was he Asian or was he Mexican or like different things you could joke about like that.
Yeah. And then just figure out the blowback on that joke.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like things are it's better now where you can make jokes. People are less like, how dare you say anything, you know, but
yeah. And
the pendulum swung back to the middle, at least I think for now.
I think also, I mean, you always could like say whatever you wanted if you could justify the joke.
If you make it funny,
yeah. People, it's like they don't put in the work to do the joke the right way, and then they get mad when people don't like them or they're like, this racist. It's like, well, that shit is racist.
Well, like our sort of friend who got in trouble with the punchline. Remember the guy got canceled in San Francisco for the Jewish stuff about Kanye?
Yeah.
Her.
Okay, yeah.
And that, to me, that is a perfect example of that thing, because he did the same premise that Dave Chappelle did on SNL that weekend, and Dave Chappelle crushed it, and it was very funny, and then he got in trouble, and then he doubled down and got blacklisted from everything.
Yeah.
I don't know why they call it blacklisted. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I think there was
black coffee. I don't know.
I don't think it had to do with.
I know. I'm just trying to do a callback. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, with that and that whole thing, it's like, yeah, you're not at the Chappelle level.
Yeah,
Chappelle's definitely nuanced, and the joke, you know, and it was also like, it's odd I don't know. Sometimes it's like odd the fights people take. You know, like that's the hill you want to not even die on. Why are you around that hill? Like
the hill you're setting yourself on fire on.
You've done no jokes like to get to the. And I'm not talking about the person. I'm just mean like in a lot of times it's like people are like shooting for the fences. You know, where it's just like why are you taking that? Like I wouldn't take that on, and I'm better. Anyway,
I could see no, but I could see one night you're just like, oh, this happened. I'm gonna talk about it. If it doesn't go well, you just go, okay, I fucked it up. I'll work on it, or I'll just not do it again.
Yeah.
And to be like, this is the be all end all. I'm gonna make a Facebook post about this and get everyone to be like, fuck this guy, and then be mad that they said that about me, even though I did it to myself, is like crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, like at this point, you could just be like, you don't even have to do the joke. You could just be like, Kanye West said this.
Mm-hmm.
He said enough crazy shit. You don't have to add anything to it. Like, you're like, Kanye West said this, and that made me think. Don't say what that made you think. Just say what Kanye said. That shit is enough to be
that
like.
That made me think how I agree with everything he said.
Oh yeah, that's a new joke I have, but it's not me agreeing with Kanye.
No,
it's the fact that like now when I watch Kanye talk about how George Bush doesn't like black people, it's odd that it's like I like George Bush more than I like Kanye West. I actually think he does like black people, and I don't know how you are.
And George Bush is a really nice painter. I don't know if you've seen him painting, but it's kind of cute.
Yeah, he brings candy for Michelle Obama or something like that.
Yeah. You know, Kanye West paints plastic wrap on his fake Kim Kardashian girlfriend. Yeah. His knockoff Kim Kardashian. Oh, man. Well, on that note, I think this has been a great episode. Do you want to plug anything, or, you know, your social media, your special?
Yeah, my special, the first one's on the house, edited. What title do you give yourself?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, editor, videographer. I don't know.
Videographer, cinematographer, sound guy.
Also, Vin Chandra. All the same-ish things.
Me, I did some of the editing.
Yep. You did all the writing.
Yeah, I did all the writing, all the material.
You did the editing of the writing.
Yep. I decided
for years and years. Over many years of time.
Yeah, so I mean
performance
that's on YouTube. So people check that out. I'm working on another hour trying to get that. So I post kind of some clips up. I don't know. It's like I dabble. There's jokes that it's like I'm not gonna put in it, so I'll put them up.
What's your Instagram?
That's a good question.
You don't know?
Well,
I think it's at Chazz Hawkins, right? Yeah. It used to be Chazz of the Mohawkins, but I think
it used to be Chazz of the Mohawkins, and people didn't find it.
Oh yeah,
I was thinking because of the name, but it might
it might just be me.
It might just be life.
Yeah. You're real Chazz Hawkins.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like I think Chazz Hawkins wasn't available when I tried to get it. So it was like real Chazz Hawkins, but then one of them is Chazz Hawkins. That might be my TikTok.
Well, I bet if they just Google you and stuff, you know.
Yeah, if
you should make a fake Chazz Hawkins too, and then just do like things you wouldn't do on there, or make it like I don't know. Yeah, that'd be fun.
So yeah, I'm working on stuff. I'm gonna do. I think. Well, I'll say I'm gonna do this, so then it makes me do it. But it's like a web series of me watching Sopranos for the first time.
That's cool.
So I've watched all these shows around it. I just never watched Sopranos, and it's like Chazz. I should have watched Sopranos. My name's Chazz. That's like very Italian name. So
yeah, Chazz Terry.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know if he's ever on the show or not, but yeah.
No, but him and me both have two Z's in our it's spelled the same way. So
yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna watch that, and then I think I'll watch like a couple episodes and do a review. And then just keep going like that.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So
I would watch that.
You'd watch it again?
Oh yeah.
And you ever watch it? I've
never finished the whole show. I've slowly been watching it for like 3-4 years. It's like a heavy show or a dense show sometimes, and I just need a break or whatever. I don't know. It's really good though. Obviously, it's amazing, but
Like I watched The Penguin, and I was like, really
it inspired you.
And you were like, if you like this, the stuff you like about it was really on that show. So I'm like, there was just so many shows. There's always so many shows. So I just like skipped over that one, even though I like James Gandolfini.
The first couple seasons too are with the mom, so you'll get all that kind of stuff. And when you first start,
yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll go back and watch it, and then I can, and there's these things where it's, I don't know how much I want to get into it, but it's like, I know, like when you're watching the HBO show, it's like the first couple episodes they gotta like prove to you why it's not on regular TV. So it's like
they just throw titties in your face.
Yeah,
fucking shit.
It's like out of nowhere they just go to a strip club, or like with like shows like that, it's like they'll kind of like make you fall in love with the character, the main guy or the main person, and then but it's like you got to realize, they're still in the mob, or like everything will seem normal, but then it's like they got to say some shitty stuff about black people, like they got to say racist terms, so then you just be like, he's not a good guy. Like the whole time he's like helping the community, but then he's just like, but I don't help the black. It's like, okay, that's how those shows always are. They always say racist shit against black people. It's like there was no black people in the whole episode. But
why did you have to bring us into it? Yeah.
You just had to know he feels that way in his heart.
They do that in The Sopranos sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's why it's like, it's like that's how like those shows are.
There's a whole episode where they do like a housing scam, and they use the ghetto houses, like they do something fucked up with that. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I'm just preparing myself for that, drinking my black coffee.
Well, you've only got 5 days left, and then it won't mean anything anymore. You'll be drinking black coffee for no reason, not your health, not for They're
like, it's March, so we just put some cream in there.
Right, for Irish. We put some Baileys in there because it's Irish month.
Just go straight to that.
I don't know. Well, yeah. Is there anything else you got shows coming up? This will come out soon, probably.
Let's see. Any shows I got coming up? I don't know what shows I got coming up.
Okay. You don't have to. I'm just trying to help you out.
ChazzHawkins.com. That's my website. So I'll put the shows up there. They'll also be on my Instagram and TikTok, all the different handles.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, and then you can follow @LukeSoin on Instagram. Like, subscribe to this. We're gonna be on a podcast network soon. We'll probably talk about it more soon. Maybe I'll put in like a little extra video about that when it happens. But sorry, I'm texting my friend Vin. But we're making a movie called Cancelled. It's gonna be awesome. Follow that stuff. I do a show in my backyard called Corner House Comedy. The next 2 shows are March 7th and March 28th. Message us and come to the show. It's in my backyard. It's cool. Chazz has been on the show. I don't know when I'll have him on again.
It's a great show.
Yeah. So
super fun.
Anyways, that's fine. You guys, we have a good bye. Thank you.